Hi again folks, how's all doing? Not doing a repair today. I'm going to do a wee bit of a layout update. I'm going to pick your brains about something actually. I've just been busy with so many other things. I'm clearing out my shed because I'm getting a new shed delivered and installed 11th, 12th of May. So I'm busy getting all the rubbish out of my old shed, which is a bit of an operation, but I'm getting there. I've not had any really interesting repairs. I've had a steady stream of repairs coming in, which you'll see in future in the shed video, but I've not had anything that I really wanted to make a feature video on. So I thought, well, I don't want to not do a video for a couple of weeks, so what can I do? I thought, right, I need to get this little house finished, which I've been doing a very stop-start process on, but we're nearly there. Just got to add these roof tiles and chimneys and stuff. And I've been thinking about the layout. I've not done any work on the layout for a while, and as I say, there's something I want to pick your brains on, see what you think. Right, so this little house, it'll take a bit of time to put all this on. Yeah, you start at the bottom there. I've built one of these before, but you put the roof tiles on in strips. Just cut these out. So I've got lots of strips to cut out and then glue them on, just with U or something. Glue them on like so, and they all have to overlap. So it takes a bit of time. So I'm going to crack on with that today. Hopefully we'll get it finished. But let's go to the layout room and see what I've been thinking about. So that's the other one of these houses that I've finished, and the one I'm building is going to go in here. I possibly could get another one in, and I could maybe get another house over there actually. So yeah, I'm saying that's going to be the last house, but yeah, we'll see. I plan to build gardens around these houses and maybe some sort of footpath either side of the road actually as well, and lots more trees and stuff round about here. But I've just kind of been kicking the can down the road a bit, I have to say. The little farmhouse here, I'm not entirely sure that's going to stay there, and the farm shop, they're just kind of plonked there just now. I'm toying with the idea of having a track coming along here, leading down to the road down there. We'll see. Yeah, thinking about it. That's all part of the fun. It's kind of just making it up as you go along. But I do have a wee bit of a problem with the layout, and one or two of you have mentioned it. How do you get from this area here, like from the gnome's legs, to the station? Yeah, I kind of realised that was a problem a while ago when I was building it, and initially I just sort of thought, well, it's all happens off-world. You come off-world and you end up in the station, but I built this road coming in, but there's still, that snakes away up there and maybe joins onto that road there, or maybe this road here. But there is no direct way to get from the station to the Gnome's Legs or the Jet or anywhere over here. And initially I thought, oh, well, it doesn't matter. It's, this is just separate. But yeah, I would like to connect it somehow and just have make the station look a bit more accessible, because at the moment we've got this very narrow sort of roadway, oblique car park going up over the bridge there, which is fine, and then there's a gate going into the engine shed. But I'm looking at this now. I've got these two long sidings in here, and I usually, you've maybe noticed, I have locomotives sitting on them, and that's a bad idea because I very nearly knocked them off a couple of times. So I've stopped doing that. I don't put locomotives along here anymore because it's just a bit too dangerous. I very nearly sent my Black 5 flying, and so I thought, right, okay, no, let's not do that. Store locomotives in a safe place. I'm happy to store them over there at Bogle's End, but yeah, not here. I mean, this siding here would probably be okay, but this one is just a bit too dangerous. So I thought, do I really need these sidings? What if I got rid of these and turned this area here into a car park with a level crossing across this track here into the roadway? So this car park area could, in theory, connect off-world to the road there. So that would kind of make sense. I could then get rid of these 2 points, which would be no bad thing. This one could sometimes be a bit troublesome for derailments. So yeah, I would still have this. I would still have this line for the engine shed and stuff, but I'd get rid of these 2 sidings, which, to be honest, I don't really use. I don't do an awful lot of shunting and stuff, and to me these sidings are just taking up space. So I could have a car park area in here with a level crossing entrance. This area here, I could have some other buildings of some sort. I don't know, maybe an old mill or something. I could have something there, and maybe another, a water tower and stuff along here. So I could have a bit more going on here, rather than just these 2 sidings. I'm kind of the opinion these days that layouts should be kept fairly simple. And I've got enough going on over here. I'm still thinking about getting rid of this goods shed and this siding, and having a loading bay, and maybe creating a junkyard or something in there. This area, this station, the Bogle's End station, is completely separate. It's not connected to this at all, so I don't need access directly into there. There is a road that goes under the bridge there, and that goes off-world, so they are kind of connected, so that's not a problem. But yeah, I'm still thinking about changing that. I still want to add a lot more trees, especially in this area here, and maybe along the tops of the hills there. Another thing I'm going to have to start seriously thinking about is signals. A couple of people have sent me some signals in kit form, which I may well use, but yeah, the idea of building and painting up all the signals that I need is a little bit daunting, I have to say. I'd really like to get my hands on just a big job lot of ready-built signals, and then I can figure out where to install them. When I asked about it before, a few people gave me some information on where the signals should really go. So thanks very much for that. That'll be very helpful. But yes, I'm on the lookout for signals. I'm maybe just going to have to start buying them and acquiring them over a period of time, I think. So what do you think? Should I get rid of these 2 sidings, have a car park, level crossing, maybe a footbridge as well, and some buildings and fences, walls, just more detail, make it just a little bit more interesting to look at rather than just 2 sidings, because as I say, I'm not going to store locomotives along here anymore, because it's sometimes I sort of lean over to put coaches on or something, and it's so easy just to catch your hand on a locomotive sitting there. And that's what I did with the Black 5. I was doing something and I just caught it. I managed to catch it. But if that had fallen down onto the floor, I'd have been really furious with myself. So I decided, no, don't keep locomotives there. So let me know what you think. I'd really value your opinion. I cannot think of any other way to connect the station to this area. I could have a little footpath, little steps. I quite like the idea of building some little steps coming up from the gnome's legs and a little pedestrian access. Maybe the workies come down, cross here, down to go to the pub. And on special occasions, maybe Bobby could bring the beers up, So I quite like having a direct, sneaky little pedestrian access between the engine shed and the pub. But to connect this area to anywhere else is just a bit... I can't think of any other way to do it other than making this into a car park. Because this really, it's not wide enough. If you think a vehicle coming in here is going to have trouble turning around. I've always been aware of that. But if I make this the main car park area, and a road going into it there, just across that track, that would make a lot more sense, I think. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about just now, and I'm kind of liking the idea, to be honest. But let me know what you think. But if you've got any other suggestions how we could connect the station to this area here in a kind of logical way, I'd be very interested to hear. I don't really want to start building any more road bridges or underpasses or anything. So yeah, I think car park in there with a little level crossing entrance would be the easiest solution, I think. Another thing I've been meaning to do is to fit the new shuttle, but it means grovelling about and rewiring and everything under the baseboards. It's it's yeah, that I'm just lacking motivation to do that at the moment, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't like grovelling about on the floor these days. It just doesn't agree with me. And that's the block signalling shuttle I was going to fit, and I still might do at some point. I'll just see how it goes. But I don't think they do this one anymore. I looked on their website the other day and they don't do this anymore, which is a bit of a shame because it's a good little piece of kit. But I've been looking at others. I quite like the idea of putting one in that uses reed switches and stuff rather than breaks in the track. But we'll see. Right, so got to start gluing these roof tiles on. This takes a bit of time, but hey ho. When I was a little boy, I used to build a lot of Airfix kits. Every Saturday I would go down to my auntie's shop. My auntie had a newsagent shop and she sold Airfix kits. And I would go down there and stand for about an hour looking at them all, deciding which one I wanted to build. It's mostly aeroplanes, but I built a few ships and cars and tanks and stuff, but it was mostly aeroplanes. I think I pretty much built the entire Airfix catalogue of all the aeroplanes, apart from some of the the really big kits. I think there was a big Spitfire you could get. I can't remember what scale that was. Was it 132? And a Focke-Wulf or a Messerschmitt or something. I never built those, always wanted to. But yeah, I got just enough pocket money to buy a 1/72 scale kit. If I wanted anything else, I used to have to save up. I remember saving up to buy the shuttle, the space shuttle. But yeah, I built a lot of kits and I loved doing it. I used to spend Saturday and Sunday. I used to always try and get it finished on the Saturday before grandstand was finished and stuff like that. Sitting there building kits, watching the wrestling. But I think back to some of the things I built and just how much patience and how diligent I was, for building model kits. These days, I don't know what it is. I just find I kind of get a little bit bored quite quickly with them. And not being able to see very well, I have to use glasses and all the rest of it. And because you're bending down, it seems quite a physically difficult thing to do these days. When I was young, I could see things close up fine, and bending down over a work surface all day didn't bother me in the slightest. But these days, I can only work on a kit for half an hour or so, and then I have to go and do something else. And that's why this has taken ages to get done. Anyway, I'm going to crack on with it. We'll see how much I get done today. I'm going to have to take the dogs out soon. But I like to see it when it's done, and then we'll get to work on that bit of the layout to get some gardens built and stuff. And I shall leave you with a wee bit of a running session. Okay, folks, catch us later.